And it is now 7-4 for San Diego. San Diego pulling away now, showing their dominance. Jay Hamilton struggling for the ball, plays it into Tony Avery in the San Diego zone. Tony Avery with the attempted turn, shoots. Oh, and that's a great save by Swift. Swift collects, goes to the top of the circle and throws it all the way in deep for the running Garth Archibald. Chad Pearson puts a toe in and plays good defense there. There's a foul against Garth Archibald. Chad Pearson got thrown to the ground there by Garth, his former teammate. Chad Pearson will take that kick for the Dynamite coming out of his own zone. He plays it back to Zube. Zube now with the ball, playing it in up the gut there to Jake Harris. Jake Harris loses the ball on to 15, who shoots it. Zube deflected that one wide. Jimmy Wade collects and boots it out of the back. Tony Avery traps it, maintains control. Jay Hamilton takes over. Shot that's gone wide. Good deflection there by Swift. Jay Hamilton flicks it on to Tony Avery. Tony Avery turns. Shot that's gone off a San Diego player into the corner. Jake Harris on the other side with a shot. That's gone wide up into the netting. And that'll be a San Diego kick. Swift, Riley Swift, the goalkeeper for San Diego, will take this kick in. San Diego continuing to be dominant, has answered all of the Dynamite goal, 1 for 1 or better. This pass goal by the Dynamite was answered by 2 from San Diego. And number 19 for San Diego, deep in their own zone, playing it back to 23 for San Diego, who plays it back to Swift. Swift now with the ball, controlling, playing it in for Aaron Susi, who flicks it on, but to no avail. Zube collects. Zube now with the ball, rolling it out to Chad Pearson. Chad Pearson turns upfield, viewing his options. Attempts to dump in, not high enough, deflected by the San Diego player. Ryan Slaughter collects. Mark Cromie in the corner, plays it over to Tony Thomas. Tony Thomas with the ball, rolling it back, playing it all the way to Jimmy Wade, who receives. Jimmy Wade at the half line, attempts a flick in, but that's gone out of bounds onto the San Diego bench. Number 19 for the San Diego will be taking this kick in. He plays that ball well in, and a foul that is not called against San Diego there. Zube collects, played out to Mark Cromie. Mark Cromie deep in his own zone, plays out to Jimmy Wade. Jimmy Wade on the left wing. Back to Mark Cromie, deep within his own zone, and a clearance attempt there by Mark Cromie down the boards, hit a player that was leaning too far into the field. How about that? So that will go to the top of the key. A San Diego kick. Paul Wright standing over the ball at the top of the Denver Dynamite circle. He's backing up, as is his custom. Looks like he might shoot this. He does, and it's a score! Paul Wright backing up, running to the ball, addressing it, and swerving it around the Dynamite wall into the right corner. Waiting Tony Avery stands over the kickoff. He plays it off to Jake Harris, who dumps it into John Millay, who's taken up a defensive role in the second half. Tony Avery fighting for the ball in the corner, but to no avail. San Diego prevails with the ball, playing it all the way back to Barton, who plays it back to O'Connor, number 2 for San Diego. O'Connor dumping it into the Denver Dynamite zone. That's played off the wall by Susi, collected by John Millay, and played up the field to Jay Hamilton at half line. Jay Hamilton pokes it back to John Millay. John Millay streaming up the field. A lightning bolt for speed there. John Millay out of the back. John Millay mistouches it. San Diego controls. Jay Hamilton fights for it, and a foul called against San Diego. A blue card has been issued. A blue card has been issued to San Diego. That player is going to the box. That puts Denver Dynamite on the power play. Boy, do they need it here. The San Diego player issued the blue card was number 5, Medina, for boarding Jay Hamilton. And the Denver Dynamite will have a kick from the left side, tapped into play by Mark Cromie. Tony Thomas receives, attempts a shot that's gone wide. That's cleared by Martin for San Diego. Zube collects, plays it out to the waiting Tony Thomas. Tony Thomas has plenty of space, takes it over the half line. He'll be quarterbacking this one. Plays it into Tony Avery. Mark Cromie collects, plays that one off the glass, and that's been cleared by San Diego into the stands. That was cleared by Martin. Goes to the top of the key. Tony Thomas will be taking this for the Denver Dynamite. He has Chad Pearson to his right. A shot there by Mark Cromie goes wide. Tony Avery attempting to tip that one in, falls over. Tony Thomas addressing the ball that slipped out. Chad Pearson now collects at half line. Chad Pearson with those delicious red boots playing it into Tony Thomas. Tony Thomas pokes it in, and it's cleared by Martin. Martin a rock in the back for San Diego. Zube collects in his own backfield. Plays it up to Tony Thomas. Tony Thomas attempting a poke in, blocked by Zé Roberto for San Diego. And a great play by O'Connor. Pokes it out. Denver Dynamite have yet to set up a good power play initiative. Jay Hamilton receives on the inside of his foot, plays it back to Tony Thompson at the waiting yellow line. Jay Hamilton rolls it into Mark Cromie, who controls in the San Diego corner. Mark Cromie with the ball, a fight going on there, out to Tony Thomas, who flicks it on to Chad Pearson. Chad Pearson with pressure, still controlling, going back to his own half line, plays it across to Tony Thomas, rolls it into Jay Hamilton. Jay Hamilton with a shot off the boards, and that's gone wide. Tony Avery giving chase there, and Martin playing tough defense, shields it, so that Swift can pick it up for San Diego. Swift, the big throw out to Tony Thomas, who heads it over to waiting Chad Pearson. Chad Pearson at half line controls, brings it up the pitch. Plays it into Mark Cromie. Mark Cromie plays it back to Tony Thomas. Tony Thomas at the white line, plays it into Jay Hamilton. Jay Hamilton off the boards. Oh, and that's gone wide. Again, Jay Hamilton attempting a shot that's gone wide. Shoved down by the San Diego player. Chad Pearson steps up to offer some help, and it's played all the way back to Tony Thomas. Tony Thomas deflects that one off San Diego. Jay Hamilton collects. Jay Hamilton with the ball, pokes it into the corner. Mark Cromie goes, misses the ball, and it rolls to the waiting Swift. Swift throws that one deep into the Dynamite zone. That will be called, I believe that's 3 lines based on the throw from Swift. Threw it over all 3 lines. That is an incorrect play that will result in a kick at the top of the key for the Dynamite. San Diego forming a wall there. Tony Thomas will be playing this with the help of Mark Cromie. Chad Pearson sits to his right, waiting for the ball. Tony Thomas will be addressing this one by himself. Chips it over to Mark Cromie. Mark Cromie shot that's gone wide, just wide of the goal there. Chad Pearson collects. Pressure on him from Paul Wright. He attempts to play it around Aaron Susi, who controls the ball. But Chad Pearson wins that one. A great fight there for Chad. Plays it over to Mark Cromie. Mark Cromie flicks it in, but nobody there to answer. Josh Fallon giving chase. Number 12 on San Diego collects and takes it out of the zone. Play to the waiting Paul Wright. Paul Wright at halftime dumps it into the corner to the waiting Aaron Susi, who passes it across. That pass deflected out by Mark Cromie. Ryan Slaughter collects, plays it into Chad Pearson. Chad Pearson now with the ball, addressing half line. Chad Pearson bringing it up the right side. Plays it around the number 23 on San Diego, but to no avail. San Diego pokes it back to Swift. Swift collects and dumps it out to Paul Wright. Paul Wright now with the ball on the right side. Paul Wright literally resting on the ball, just sitting there. Plays it across to 23 on the San Diego, who plays it into the waiting Barton. Barton now with the ball, is back to the Dynamite goal, plays it back to Wright, just behind half line. Wright attempts a play that is misdirected, and Jake Harris collects. Jake Harris mugged at halftime. Barton now with the ball, playing it in. James McMonagle intercepts. Jake Harris now with the ball on the left side, playing it all the way back to Josh Fallon in the zone. Josh Fallon dumps it into the waiting Tony Avery. Tony Avery, the target man, attempts a shot, and that has gone wide. Tony Avery missed that opportunity, although giving his very best there in a rush. Swift, with the ball, throws it deep into the Denver Dynamite zone, collected by Zube, who dumps it out to Jake Harris. Jake Harris now, number 16, Dynamite, bringing it down the field with speed, plays it into the corner, but that's collected by Swift. Not quite wide enough. Swift was able to pick that one up with his hands. It looks like a timeout has been called. And both teams head to their respective benches to circle the wagons and see what they can do about pulling even